Over the years, the vast majority of content I've put out has been around business and career and attitude and mindset. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who works at a YouTube channel with millions of subscribers. And I was asking him, what value do you think that I could bring to other people through my content? And the answer he gave was quite obvious in retrospect. I should talk about digital marketing. And I've had people over the years tell me that, hey, Riaz, why don't you talk about digital marketing more on your videos that you put out there? And I won't claim to have a really good answer to that, but I think I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to share all of the wisdom and secrets that I have around digital marketing, and specifically PPC ads, pay-per-click ads, social media advertising. Our business focuses predominantly on paid marketing. So Google ads, Facebook, LinkedIn ads, Twitter ads. These are the ads that you see on your news feeds that say sponsored, or on Google or Bing where it says ads at the top. And this is our whole industry within the ecosystem of digital marketing. I think I'm ready. I'm ready to kind of share all of the secrets, all of the things that we've done to help our clients to grow their businesses. And by extension, those things have helped us to grow our business. We were named one of Ottawa's fastest growing companies last year. I won the 40 under 40. So expect to see more content, lots of content on PPC ads, social media marketing, pay-per-click, all that good stuff. So just to clarify that piece, these are some of the terms within our subset of marketing that you'll want to become familiar with, and in future videos I'll talk about. So inbound marketing, right? Inbound marketing, PPC, pay-per-click, growth marketing, demand generation, performance marketing, lead generation. So see, these are some of the terms. There are nuances to each of these, but our business, CDIO, is focused on helping our clients with this part of their business specifically. So we're not necessarily a branding agency, or, there's lots of different types of agencies out there. We're very focused and fixated on filling your pipeline with opportunities, or if it's e-commerce, getting you e-commerce sales or ticket sales if you're an events company. So expect to hear me talk a lot more about these topics going forward, and I'm ready to share kind of all the secrets out there. I'm still working on the setup. I got the whiteboard. You can see the reflection of the ring light there. I need to get a microphone, but I digress. Let's just jump in, because you want to know about today's topic, which is the mistakes that businesses make when hiring a PPC agency. Let's jump right in. Number one, expectations. So oftentimes we'll see business owners and marketers, and this may be you, it may not be, right? But they're kind of new to this concept of PPC ads or paid ads, and they'll read a few blog posts or watch a few videos and be given this idea that hitting kind of the jackpot is inevitable if you just put some money into it or hire someone to do it for you, right? I would be very careful about having that belief, because I've seen many people burned by believing this. And I think what's important is to manage your own expectations about what success looks like when hiring a company like ours, or even doing paid ads internally. So expectations, right? And the best way to understand and to set your expectations, we'll talk about this a little bit later, is to really understand your metrics and to understand your business numbers, and that will lead to setting the right outcomes. Okay, mistake number two, not scaling. So we've had, I've seen this before where clients will get them success, we'll start growing, they'll be getting, leads coming in or whatever their outcomes are, and we're kind of knocking it out of the park. And there's kind of a hesitancy to scale. I mean, everyone gets into business because they want to grow, I imagine. Not everyone, but most businesses want to grow. And so this is a mistake that we'll see, where it's like we're getting good results, or you're getting good results in your paid ads campaign, but then you're kind of hesitant to put more budget into it. The clients that we see do the best are the ones that say, hey, Riaz, for every $1 we're putting in, we're getting 5. Okay, let's crank the dial, right? So having that knowledge coming into paid ads, that the sky can be the limit if you are able to crank the dial, right? So not scaling quickly enough or at all is a big mistake that we see. Business nuances. So I think this also happens too, where every business is different, right? And every business's approach to paid ads should obviously be different as a result of that. And I think what happens is businesses have a certain notion coming into an engagement or when they start running ads that, they're going to put some budget into it, and it's just their product's going to fly off the shelf, right? The problem with that is, let's just say your business has, your product, for example, or service has a buying cycle of 18 months, okay? Running paid ads isn't going to change that, right? Or, if there's, you have no appointments available for the next 2 months, right? Well, if you get a lead today, they're not going to be able to, fulfill that appointment for 2 months, right? So there are certain nuances within your specific business that won't change just because you're running ads. So I've seen it happen before where, client has a 1-year buying cycle for their product or service. That means if I generate a lead today, it's going to take a year for you to get money in the bank, right? So I would say understanding your business nuances before you come into it, because we're not going to be able to change that unless there's a campaign specified to change that, and your internal logistics will also have to change as a result of that. Okay, types of marketing. So off the bat, I talked about we are inbound, we are PPC, growth marketing, demand generation. I think you'll want to do your research into the different types of marketing within the digital marketing ecosystem, because I think sometimes people have a sense that digital marketing is just kind of like, it's like radio, television, newspaper, billboards, digital marketing. And it's like, no, it's not like that. Like within digital marketing, there's thousands of different like subsets of digital marketing. And I think sometimes what happens is businesses will hire a company thinking it's one type of marketing when really it's another. And so when they don't get the result that they're looking for, they're kind of disappointed. So do your research and figure out what type of marketing company you need, or whether that's internally or externally as well. So types of marketing, types of digital marketing specifically. Okay, number 5, website. Website. Your website is your storefront online. And to be honest, if your website is shit, your campaign is not going to do well, right? So this is why it's very important to have a very strong website designed for performance, right? We'll use, our team will build websites designed for performance, or we'll develop landing pages, which are designed for conversion. But if your website's not good, no campaign in the world is going to help you get sales, right? So what I usually tell clients is, and this is kind of one of the nuggets of wisdom here, is you can have the best campaign in the world with the best Google keywords, the best Facebook ads and audiences. But if you drive that traffic to a poorly built website, which is not aesthetically pleasing or doesn't function well, or a landing page that doesn't function well, you're not going to get good results. The opposite actually though, if you have a good website or a good landing page, you can kind of possibly get by with mediocre traffic, okay? So of course you want both. You want the full funnel or full flywheel of having a good experience from the top of the funnel all the way to the bottom. But if you have a bad website and your digital marketing or your PPC agency or specialist doesn't push back and force you to reconsider using that website, that's a big problem, okay? So make sure where you're sending traffic is strong before you send the traffic there, right? Because you're wasting money on it otherwise. Number 6, product. Okay, if you have a bad product, no marketing in the world is going to help you, right? So what I would suggest is really thinking about A, whether your product is strong or not, and B, whether digital marketing or specifically paid ads is the right solution for your product or service, right? This also happens frequently too. This is another thing I want to share. So sometimes we'll get people approach us and they've built like a multi-million business over here, and that business has grown because of like a specific product or service. And then they approach us and they say, hey, like we're making all these sales over here, but we just launched this like new product or service over here. Can we do some digital marketing behind it? And that is a disaster waiting to happen, possibly, okay? Put your efforts and your paid ads behind the proven concept, because you have a proven flow of like supply chain, building it, getting it out the door, a proven track record of it getting results or the desired outcome from the customer. Like you have it's not just like driving traffic to it. It's, you know, there's a whole system in place that's scalable and that's building there. So my recommendation, if you're going to be doing paid ads, is focus on putting paid ads behind something that you know is proven and that works, rather than something experimental. I see it very often, and I've seen it go down in flames. Yeah, there's some outliers, certainly, that, you know, or like the product is like really clearly going to do well. But I would say in the majority of cases, put your efforts and your paid ads behind your core product or service, and then build an audience for your experimental. Get some sales under your belt on the experimental product or service before you start putting ads behind it. Okay. Other mistakes. Okay, number 7. Separation of business and agency. So yes, we are a separate company outside of our clients, but I would say the vast majority of our clients feel like we are an extension of their team. And that is very critical in hiring a PPC agency, an inbound agency, what have you. Because if the agency or firm, if there's this feeling that it's outside of the business, like I know it is, but if that separation is too big, it's not going to work. The business and the agency have to work hand in hand, because once those leads are generated on the marketing side, they have to go to the sales team. And if the sales team is not giving feedback on the performance of the leads that they're getting, the marketing company or specialist isn't going to be able to improve the performance. And at the same time, if the marketing team is not telling the sales team what's working, it's not going to work for them either. So sales and marketing have to work hand in hand. I've seen it happen way too many times where either sales isn't on board or sales hasn't been kind of even informed that there's a digital marketing campaign about to happen. And if you don't have buy-in from all parties, it's just not going to work. So one of the things that we really focus on from a client experience perspective is making sure that the companies we work with know that, hey, like as long as we're working together, we're an extension of your team. You can message us on Slack, Teams, you can call us, WhatsApp, like we are an extension of your team. And if you say it enough times, eventually they feel like that, right? So that's been really critical. And so so don't make that mistake of thinking that, oh, that agency over there is going to do that thing over there while I'm doing this over here. And one final point I'll make on this, which is just because an agency is driving traffic, or marketing specialist, if it's in-house, is driving traffic to a specific landing page with a specific campaign, it doesn't mean that those campaigns aren't also affecting the rest of the business in a positive way, right? So I've seen it happen many times where, you know, the campaign that's everyone's focused on isn't performing well, but then when you talk to the client, or when you kind of ask your seniors if you're in-house, hey, how's business going overall? It's like, oh, we just had a record month, but the campaign over there is not doing that good, right? So it's like there's usually a correlation between like the overall business metrics and the digital marketing campaigns, the PPC campaigns, whether you like it or not. So one thing that we look at is, you know, of course, analytics, month over month, looking at like revenue overall for the company, right? It's like, was there anything that you did to impact the revenue growth, or was it just like, were you just running campaigns, right? So this is like, it's called attribution modeling, but this is always a challenge in the digital marketing space. So if you're hiring a PPC agency, don't like be naive to the fact that the campaign might not just be focused, might not just be positively affecting kind of like this one thing. It might be just affecting the whole business overall, right? Number 8, outcomes alignment, or lining outcomes. So this is so critical in the beginning, right? If you are selling a $100 widget, right, and you're putting $1,000 into digital marketing, right, you know, you would need to have a good understanding of how many widgets you would need to sell in order for it to be worth it for you, right? At a very elementary level, you would need to sell 10 widgets to break even on the 1,000. Obviously, there's other harder costs out there, right? But so do your math on your product, your margins, so that when you're working with your agency or your in-house team, you can say, hey, we need to spend X amount to make a sale of this product, which is Y amount, and we need Z amount of sales for it to be worth it overall. So if you don't engage, if you're not engaging your agency in that process, you're going to be disappointed, right? So outcomes alignment, right? So another example would be, you know, if you're, let's just say it's physiotherapy as an example, right? Like how many patients do you need to get in the chair in order to get one that's going to be paying you for a longer period of time, or in dental or what have you, right? So that helps the agency understand, okay, if I get 10 leads and 3 of those people end up in the chair and one of them converts into a patient over 2 years, that's going to generate X amount of revenue. And so that means that in order to get those 10 leads, it needs to cost X amount, right? Like breaking down the math is so critical, because I could be over here being the agency and being like, yay, high-fiving, we're getting like thousands of leads. And it's like, that's not actually resulting in anyone sitting in the chair or anyone turning into a client or a patient. And you're not actually happy with it, right? So agency or marketing people are high-fiving, you're disappointed, right? So be very clear about what you expect from your outcomes, but don't be unrealistic, because that's very annoying, right? It's like, yeah, we want to spend $1,000 and we want to make $1 million. It's like, it's all in like proportion, okay? So challenge, poke holes in your outcomes. If your agency is not doing this, this is a critical error, okay? So that's number 8, okay? Number 9 mistake that people make when hiring a PPC agency. I have investment versus expense, okay? So you need to come into the relationship with the idea that it is going to be successful, that you are going to generate an ROI. It's kind of a bit of like, you know, like what is it, like The Secret, or like putting those good vibes out there, right? If you believe it's going to work, you're going to be in the mindset to make sure that it works, right? So I think it's important, like it's only an expense if it doesn't work, right? If it does work, it's an investment, right? And when you invest in something and it's getting you a return, you should invest more, right? And if it's an expense and it's not getting you a result, you should spend less. You should fire whoever your marketing person is or agency is, right? So what's important is that in the beginning, in those early days, I'd say 3 months in our world, 3 to 6 months, is you're probably unsure, is it an investment or is it an expense? I hope it's an investment. Feels like an expense, right? Once you start getting traction, and don't be shy about putting more into it, because I've seen it happen too much. It kind of goes back to number 2, not scaling, right? If you're getting results, you're getting sales, keep feeding the machine. Feed the machine. You know what I mean? We want to scale it up, right? Which is a skill in and of itself, right? So, and I guess on the flip side of that, if it feels like an expense and you're not seeing a return, do something about that. You should definitely do something about that, right? Which is number 10. Number 10 mistake, not stopping soon enough, right? Even within Google ads, even within Facebook ads, even within LinkedIn ads, there are thousands of different ways to approach a campaign. This is not like going to buy flowers, where it's like, hey, let me go buy flowers. And it's like, there's like different types of flowers. And oh yeah, okay, this looks good. I'm going to take and go. Even within our team, there are different styles of how to build a Facebook, Google, LinkedIn campaign. I love the different styles. I think it's great because it forces us to kind of challenge each other and poke holes. But if you are running a campaign and they have set it and forget it, or you have set it and forget it, or you're not seeing a return, or you're not pivoting quickly enough, or you need to stop. You need to stop. I've seen it happen where I'll take over a client account and it's like, it's still running and they're spending money, and it's like, you're burning through money and not getting results, right? So you need to blow it up if you're not getting results, blow it. You need to blow it up. And if your agency is not concerned about your results and they're not concerned about blowing it up quick enough, you got a big problem there, right? You're not hiring them to build the campaign. You're hiring them to get results and to have a great client experience, right? Anyone can build a campaign. You can you can probably go on right now. You can probably click a few buttons. You'll have a campaign up. Will it be a bad campaign? Maybe. If you don't have any experience, it'll be bad, right? You're hiring people to get results and a great client experience, and to make it simple and digestible so you can kind of understand what's happening, good recommendations. So please stop if you're not getting results, if you're not having a good client experience. All right, and number 11 is the reality check, okay? Reality check. Make sure that you understand why the agency is doing what they're doing. Ask tough questions. Ask tough questions, right? Challenge. When I say reality check, what I mean by that is this is a very risky, sometimes risky endeavor to go down. Don't be naive to the fact that you can burn budget very quickly, right? The other reality check, the final reality check that I want to make is that Google and Facebook and LinkedIn and all these platforms, they are in it to make money. Do they want to get you results? Of course they do. They want you to have a great experience. But at the end of the day, they're businesses, public companies with shareholders, and they have demands around their throat to get money through the door. They will do whatever they need to get you to spend more. So sometimes they'll make, here's an example, Google will make recommendations in their platform. Hey, increase your budget by this and you'll get that. Optimize that and you'll get this. Your optimization score, here's the secret, optimization score is garbage. You want to look at quality score on Google, okay? But that's a whole other episode. The reality check is, don't be naive to the fact that these companies are trying to maximize their revenue and they're not as concerned about how they go about doing that, right? So if a Facebook or Google rep recommends something to you, you might want to think a few times about that before you kind of just naively go all in with that. I've had it happen a few times where a client says, hey, Google or Facebook reached out to me and they see some problems with your campaign. And then we'll jump on the call with the Google or Facebook rep. And to be honest, they're at a call center. They don't even know how to run the campaigns in a lot of cases. So there are many good people that work at Facebook and Google that know what they're doing. The vast majority, they are just trained to get you to press that button to increase your budget or to do more with them, okay? So don't make that mistake, okay? Okay, good. Well, this is the first video of this kind of new era of talking about digital marketing and specifically PPC, inbound marketing. Yeah, send me your video ideas, questions that you might have. Like, what do you want to know? I'm an open book now. I want to share it all. I want to give you the value and nuggets and the things that helped us to grow as rapidly as we have and to help our clients as rapidly as they have. So thank you so much for watching. Again, 11 mistakes when hiring a PPC agency or an in-house marketer. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.